Welcome to the final 2 days of Romantasyathon. I cannot believe that it is almost over. I have had so much fun getting ready for the Starfall Ball this week. One more time, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you just clicked on the final 2 days video, everything is going to be linked down in the description box below. But Romantasyathon is hosted by Tori from Tori Between Pages, and we're getting ready to go to a ball. In this one, I will share with you guys all of the graphics for everything that I've been gathering up to this point. I'll show you my mood board for the Starfall Ball, and I'm so excited to see how it's going to turn out and all of the things that I have put together to attend this ball. I literally cannot wait to see how it's all going to come together. But we do still have to get my weapon. I don't want to be naked at the Starfall Ball without a weapon. I think that's the last official prompt that I have to do, but let's pull up the prompts and do a prompt check-in real quick before I continue on, and that way I will know for sure what I'm missing and what we need to accomplish in the last 2 days. We already have who to bring, and oh, she changed some of the graphics and now I want another guy. We'll talk about that later. But no, not gonna do it. We just finished my trope in the last vlog. We still need to do the weapon. We have our background. We have what we're gonna wear. So yeah, weapon is the last main prompt that we have to do, but I also haven't really looked at the bonus prompts. We did book I saw on socials because I gave you guys that bonus prompt. There was another one in one of the other host videos, so you guys definitely need to go check everybody's videos from this week out if you want to be able to see the story that goes along with the prompts. Listen to an audiobook. Almost all of my books I've done at least partially on audiobook, so we got that one. Highly anticipated book. I have read several that I was really anticipating. Rebel Witch was absolutely a highly anticipated book for me. Same thing with Zodiac Academy. So I think if all else fails, we can check that one off. Have not read a book with a one-word title yet. I'm thinking, but I don't think that I have. So one-word title is definitely something that I want to be able to hit all of the bonus prompts and at least one prompt from everything. Why am I crazy? Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know, but I just feel like I need it to feel accomplished at this ball. But for weapon, we have fave author, new to you author, a wreck from a friend, or out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at all of my possibilities for this last prompt, see if I can find a one-word title that has an audiobook, because it is currently 10 a.m. on Friday. So I only have a very short window of time to finish this last book, and most of the ones that I'm really interested in are very, very long. And sadly, I do actually have things that I have to do today and tomorrow, so I can't just sit at home all day on the couch like a vegetable and read. So what am I going to be reading? I don't know yet. You probably already know because it was in the thumbnail, but I'm going to go see if I can find a one-word title with an audiobook that I'm actually interested in, because there are some, but I don't know what I'm in the mood for right now. So we'll see. I also want to see if she's put out the graphics yet for the weapon, because that may change my mind on what I was going to do, because there's just certain ones that once you see it, that every plan that you have was but maybe I could go for that instead. I will check back in once I've decided what I'm going to be reading. So I'm actually getting ready to go out for a bit. I've got to take Ollie over to the vet. He's completely fine, but he has this little lump on his chest that I think is just a lipoma, but the vet said to just bring him in, let her check him out. He's a good boy, but he's not going to be very happy with me when we go to do this. But I did pick a book, and we're gonna go a little wild. I'm gonna pick a book that's gonna count for a couple of different things, and that is Rabid by Ivy Asher and Raven Kennedy. This book is one word, so I will be able to cross off that bonus prompt, but it also is not in my comfort zone. So we'll be able to get the really cool iron nails for our weapon, which I wanted. When I saw them, I was like, I wasn't planning to read out of my comfort zone because, well, who does that? But I just need them. I need them. So we're going to do that. I think it's Omegaverse. I've seen it described as Omegaverse, and I just don't never read one. I don't know if it's going to be my thing. I don't really fully understand what Omegaverse is. I've Googled it, but I don't want to Google it too much because that sounds like a scary place to be. But it also hits a prompt on Kitty's Kindle reading challenge as well, which I have a TBR for. I will leave up here in case you guys want to check it out. But I just I don't know. I'm very, 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 very scared of this book overall. Send me support because I'm scared. But so far it's not been what I was expecting. We've opened up with a girl who has just lost her mother, and she is part of this pack, and her mom was the pack healer. And we're also getting ready for this ceremony called the Flux, where they are going to basically get their wolf spirit. And I really like the magic system in this, and that the wolves are not just inherently a part of them. They're not one and the same and they just happen to be werewolves that shift. They're more of almost separate entities, spirits that possess and become one, rather than like I said, being its like internal thing. And I think that that's really interesting. I don't really usually read a lot like that. Most of the time they're just werewolves from birth, or they got bitten and turned into a werewolf, and it's more of the shifting aspect of things, where this is more, I think, a little more spiritual, but they do actually shift as well. But in this pack, they've got a really, really terrible alpha, and he is determined he is going to claim her with or without her permission, and she's really afraid that when she takes in this wolf, it is going to submit to him, and she's not going to have any control over that anymore. So definitely check triggers, because this book has been pretty dark so far. It has not really let up, honestly, in how dark it is, and I don't know why, but that just was not what I was expecting, and I can't tell if I'm enjoying it or not, but I am appreciating that it's going there, but I'm just like, there's a lot going on right now. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about it, other than I am really liking the writing. I think that these two are writing well together. I don't know who did what, but it is an author duo. One that I've not really read from before, Ivy Asher. I started The Bone Witch and DNF'd it, but only like 10 pages in, so I do plan to retry that one soon. And Raven Kennedy wrote the Guild series. That one I didn't love, but it wasn't necessarily the writing style that I didn't like. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. I think this book is a standalone in like a series of standalones that follow like a similar theme, kind of like Slaying the Vampire Conqueror and that series. So I don't think that I have to have read, well, I didn't read any others in that series, and I don't think I'm going to have to after that. I can read just like this isolated book. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it right now. I like it and I'm intrigued. But like, it's brutal. I may look exhausted because the vet trip was a little bit more involved than I expected. I'm not going to go into detail. Everybody's okay, but Bryn is going to need a specialist, so I'm going to work on getting that done later this week. But it definitely took longer than we expected, and we don't really have a lot of information right now, so I'm just waiting to get more information, and then I'll share with you guys how she's doing. But right now she's doing great. She's home, she's happy. She's got a little bit of a shave spot in her fur, which looks hilarious, but she is in a great mood. Once I got home though, I was able to get a little bit more of Rabid read, and I now understand Omegaverse, and I have now read my first nodding scene, which definitely took my mind off of anything that happened at the vet, because like, ooh, I don't know if this is the kink for me. However, I'm not hating it. It is very it was something. It was something. I'll be honest, I like a dominant man. This might be a little bit more than I'm used to, but right now I'm having a pretty good time. We've gotten to more of like the meat of the story and what I think the romance is going to be, learning more about those characters. Our female main character is very, very sassy, and I'm vibing with their dynamic so far. The book is a little repetitive, which is kind of annoying. I may need to search the Kindle to see how many times my wolf is said, and it is a lot, but it's because the wolf and her kind of have separate entities almost. I assumed that it was going to be that she invited this spirit in and it became part of her, but that's not really the case. They feel very separate, and I don't know. I think that may be because of things that happened with her in the beginning, but I don't necessarily know that that's the way it's intended to be. Either way, they're very, very separate, but one all at the same time. So the wolf doesn't have a name, but also my wolf feels weird to call it all the time. I don't really know. That's being very nitpicky. But the repetitiveness is not just in that. There's definitely repetitive sentences that keep happening, repetitive scenes that keep happening, but it's not a huge deal. It is, I just am noticing it. I'm liking the audiobook. The audiobook is really good. The nodding scene was very interesting on audio, and my ears might be, burning a little bit, but it's fine. Everything is fine. Tyron's eyes narrow with rage. A threatening snarl tearing when she stares further down. Tyron seems to snap again as soon as her claws culminates around. Under her piercing the wolf, a huge angry hands bent down on the neck. Then he sounds short. A fully circling knee facing the dirt. His contact against the wolf. It is a bit of a mess in here. I've been filming today and I have books strewn all over the floor, but you can't see that because we're up here. I managed to finish Rabid, and this book was a little bit of a roller coaster. It was a time. It was brutal at parts, definitely check triggers for like sexual assault. It had things that were very out of my comfort zone. I read my first nodding scene, and it was something. I'm not sure if that's my kink, to be honest with you. I'm willing to try another Omegaverse just to see. Even though I like my fictional men to be very domineering and the sassy, like fighting back female leads, that push and pull dynamic in the characters of this book really, really worked for me. However, because of the way that the like mating situation and the fact that this was a standalone book, it happened really, really, really fast. Like they met, he mated with her and then suddenly they were pretty much in love with each other. And it was too fast, I think, in my personal opinion. I wanted a little bit more of that push and pull. I wanted more of the chase of him trying to get her and the little bit of banter that came with that. I think that could have been really fun if we saw him like trying to dominate her and her pushing back and like that push and pull dynamic. But unfortunately there wasn't enough of that for me. Combine that with the really smutty scenes with kink that wasn't quite, I just don't know that it's quite my thing. And I think I'm going to end up giving this book a 3-star. I liked the world building. I liked the story overall, but I think I needed a little bit more from it in the end. If you are somebody that doesn't mind a very smutty book and you like a very domineering type relationship and you don't mind trying something outside of your comfort zone or outside of your usual, I would recommend giving this a try, because this is not a 3-star where I was like, I did not like this book. It was mediocre at best. I actually really had fun with it, and maybe I should give it more like a 3.5 star because it was not a bad book. I just don't know if it was the exact book for me, but I still enjoyed it. I would still be willing to read another Omegaverse, especially from somebody that I trusted that had already read like both of them. I was like, okay, since this didn't work for you, try this one. I think I could do it. I think the dynamic actually would work for me. I think it was just the speed of the dynamic that didn't exactly work for me. I'm glad that I read this one. I'm glad that I stepped out of my comfort zone. I think it's going to open up a world of possibilities for me in the future. And I managed to get those iron-tipped dagger nails, which is exactly what I wanted, and hit all of the bonus prompts. Success. So before we wrap up this vlog, I do need to tell you guys about all of the things that I managed to get, show you my mood board. So let me go grab that and then we'll wrap this up. I don't know how this week flew by so quickly, but I had the best time. Thank you so much, Tori, for asking me to co-host. It was incredible and I cannot wait for next year. But we have one last thing that we need to do before we consider this a complete wrap, and that is to show you guys my mood board and everything that I am going to be wearing and doing for the Starfall Ball. So first, what I'm gonna wear, I ended up deciding to wear a black dress. I have this stunning number with this huge slit, which I could never wear in real life, but we're living our fictional best life over here, so it doesn't matter. I have long legs for the Starfall Ball. I'm gonna be going as a witch because I just love having all of the power. My weapon, I went out of my comfort zone in this vlog in order to get this exact weapon. Like I wanted this. I wanted those nails, those iron-tipped dagger nails. I had to have them. So that was going to be my weapon. My dates, plural, and I went in a love triangle, and it was a mix between this brown-haired beauty and this very mysterious dark knight. We managed to have a few of the bonus prompts along the way. There was a little bit of a cat and mouse going on, and I had the best time, and I could not be happier with the way that my Starfall Ball turned out. Did you participate in Romantasyathon? And if you did, let me know down in the comments what you wore, who you brought, everything that you were able to get done in order to go to the ball. If you just want to let me know that you were here and hanging out, leave me a wolf emoji, of course, because of rabid and going a bit out of my comfort zone. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!